Monday, September the 4th, start of month 3, and what a weekend. What a weekend. 10 orders. Like, I don't know what, I mean, I know it's the start of a month, so people have probably been paid and whatnot, but yeah, 10 orders, which I'll take you through in a minute. 9 from Bricklink and 1 from Brickowl. Couple of them big orders as well, which was fantastic. Managed to do one little part out over the weekend. Just move my water bottle out of the way. So we're starting the week at 89,010 pieces, targeting another 5,000 into the inventory through the week as usual. Get that up to 94, hopefully get that nearer to 95. Over on YouTube, put the video up on a Sunday again because that seemed to go well last week, and it's gone well again this week with a lot of new subscribers already. I think that's jumped up maybe 10 or 12 since last night, and the video's obviously done particularly well, and the Ahsoka T6 shuttle has continued to tick along very nicely, which is great. In terms of the end of the week, that's how it kind of ended up. Brick Freedom's stats are all over the place. Kind of, it says September is 9 total sales, and that's up 200% on August, which was 63 sales. So I might not be brilliant at maths, but I know that 9 is not 200% up on 63. But yeah, they do seem to have some glitches in their statistical representations. But yeah, that's how kind of week 35 ended, which is a really strong week. $846, which fantastic. Shipping, I think that's going to be a consistent thing, that kind of down a bit. So many people choosing stamps, and that is the case again in most of the orders through the weekend. That said, the bigger ones have no choice, and especially the two big ones, and one of them's off to Mexico, one's off to Canada, so that kind of changes the game in that a little bit. Orders up to 2.7 a day, which I think is a great thing. You know, a couple a day, it's great. I will do a big rundown of the month's income, expenditure, profit and loss kind of thing, but I'm going to get all of the orders and stuff shipped and packed up first, and that stuff has started finishing on eBay as well, so I need to finish that. So let's have a look at the orders. Let's start over here with one tile, someone's address, sorry, with one tile going to Canada, and the shipping is 21 Aussie dollars on that one, and the tile is only $1.50. So someone really wants that tile, but I'm delighted to have the sale. Hang on, there's another one that's got the address on it. Let's just do that. A clear trans dish going out the door there. Over here is a bunch of parts, some weapons, bit of dark red grey stuff. It's got the hallmarks of kind of something Star Warsy, Republic gunship type thing, hasn't it? With all of that. The one from Brickowl is a couple of windows, although they classify them as train windows. Not sure what makes them train windows. In the medium stone grey, also known as the light bluish grey, but whatever. The first of the, get that cord out of the way. Oh, it's because I've got the phone in a different hand for some reason. The first of the big orders, how many was this? 309 items, 71 lots. But this isn't the biggest order. So this is the second biggest order. Clearly someone building the UCS TIE Fighter, I'm going to say. A load of black plates, some dark blue grey plates, some cockpit and printed tiles, and some other little pieces in there. This 6x6 dish was listed as used because kind of it was used, but it's another one of those ones where I've had it in the daylight, I've had it in the lights in here last night. It just doesn't look as light bluish grey as the other things, so I'm going to refund that, but I'm still going to send it so that the buyer can complete their build and replace it if they don't think it's up to scratch. Another parts order, mixed bag of bits and pieces, yellow and some dark red stuff and some other things. And then the whopping great order, which is 746 items, 127 lots, a mixture of tan, dark tan, a lot of reddish brown stuff, which made me think forest stuff, a bit of an assortment of bits and pieces in there, a little bit of dark bluish grey, but gone full goth factor on the black. Like, that is a massive bit of black going on. Cleared me out of quite a few things, which I still have a mixed feeling about when you kind of know that you haven't got anything or something left anymore. But that is the name of the game, isn't it? Okay, moving on to a set. Captain Rex is off to Mexico, so I hope he's going to be safe in transit. I'm going to have to package him up nice and safely for that big one, but it's a good sale. And finally, this one's pending, but this is a further purchase from the same buyer that bought all of those instructions, which is still waiting to be shipped because he's still buying more instructions, or possibly buying more used sets that need instructions. So Clone Trooper, Bomb Squad Battle Pack, obviously he's got, and Defensive Crate instructions there as well. And then there was another order, which was a pickup, which was a whole load of dark blue grey parts, which was picked up on Sunday by a local buyer, so that was good. Always good to know that you kind of getting on the radar of everyone. So yeah, 10 orders over the weekend, which, you know, as everyone that's followed any of these videos will know, is a storming record, way beyond anything else ever done over a weekend. You know, 3 or 4 has usually been the case. So that plus a whole load of stuff that is selling or sold on eBay. Going to get all of this packed up, and then I'll come back and run through August's profit and loss thing and have a little bit of chat about that back soon. Okay, Monday afternoon, and as promised, a little breakdown of where we are on numbers and things like that. So I thought I'd pull together this one kind of just so I can chart where we're heading. September started with 87932. Obviously I had a little bit over the weekend, that's why it's a little bit higher than that already, but it kind of shows where we've jumped up through from August to September, pretty much adding 30,000 parts, which was a hell of a lot more than I thought it was, to be honest, and a lot more than we did kind of through July to August. So that's kind of an impressive progress. In terms of the average sales, obviously the stats only really matter and are current, so August is the first one that goes in there, but it'd be interesting come the end of September to be able to see where we're going with that. And then in terms of the YouTube subscribers, that is really just I couldn't actually find it in a video where we started July, so kind of just going from where we were kind of in August. And as you know, anyone that's been here for a while knows, we had like 2 or 3 subscribers for ages and ages and ages, and then it just kind of picked up some momentum. So kind of, as I've said, September's goal part target originally was going to be to start with 80,000 and finish with 90,000. So we're already pretty much heading for the end of the month goal. So just going to keep trying to do one a day, one part out a day this month, and see how that affects daily sales as a kind of compare and contrast. So I kept like a spreadsheet all month of things, and I've already started September's, so that's all good. So this is where we are, and it's pretty bleak reading, but you're gonna have to go with me on this one because it's a long game and we're playing the long game. So as anyone that was here a month ago remembers, excuse me, we finished July with $544.93 in profit, which is kind of not a real true sense of it because an awful lot of those costs were spent prior to July in terms of draws and things like that. So it wasn't a true representation. and there were obvious areas to reduce costs, and there were ones that were clear as we got into the month that we were going to have to spend some money, like storage, which has gone up kind of 1,000%. So whilst we're finishing on a bit of a bleak negative, and the overall is a very scary couple of grand in the red, I think through September that'll really improve, because those costs are now sunk. So, you know, they will deliver profit once they get in the store, especially on the stock items, albeit not as quickly as you would want. But, you know, I said kind of a couple of weeks back, I knew I'd spent a lot of money this month, so I started putting stuff on eBay. There wasn't an awful lot of stuff coming in. Most of that's going to happen this week in terms of sales finishing. But even still, there was still $1,435 worth of eBay sales to contribute that, which is down quite a lot from the previous month. Bricklink sales, strangely, were down, although it didn't feel it. I'm not sure why that is. I can't really fathom it out. You know, Brickowl obviously helped push that back up, but overall the sales were down. I don't know whether that's because it's maybe July was 5 weeks versus 4 weeks, because the average daily sales were up and the average value was up, but the sales on the whole were down. Maybe that's the postage thing, because that Bricklink sales includes all the postage, and then that comes out of the other side of that, simply because there is a handling fee in the postage cost thing. But on the whole, kind of things heading in the right way. You know, postage costs pretty much evened themselves out in the month. Office supplies kind of the same. Packaging greatly reduced, although there's one, the kind of the medium boxes which are now running low, which I probably need to order some, which will probably put us in that same kind of bracket as August was for September. Storage supplies, I think we're pretty much good on. I mean, those 5 litre cube box things that I got from IKEA are just the business. I might get some more of those, because they really do like just clear out the bigger drawers. But once those trays arrive, which I feel is taking an awful lot of time, things will improve. Lego retail purchases went way up, and some of that's very, obviously that includes stuff I'm buying personally, and once the Veneta's out of the way, then we're probably on it, kind of just looking for things to go straight into the store. But counter that with a drop in Facebook Marketplace, and I don't see myself doing much of that at the moment, given that most of the sets that I bought are the sets that were new, and they were just people selling them cheap anyway. So I would imagine that Facebook Marketplace will be very quiet through September. eBay probably will be up. Bricklink sales probably will be up, we would hope. Brickowl would definitely be up, you would hope, or at least maintain steady. And then we've got the additional things like Brick Freedom fees and the Bricklink fees that we didn't have last month because it was only like $2 or something like that. They didn't actually charge it. So those things impact on what you're doing, which does kind of make you think, and someone asked it in a comment earlier on, whether or not I had a PayPal business account or whether it was personal. At the moment it's a personal one, but it does beg the question with me whether or not I should investigate actually registering the company and moving into that GST bracket, so that I can start writing off some of these costs as well as writing off the GST when I'm buying Lego for the store. So whilst the numbers look a bit crappy, hopefully by the end of September those will have improved. And then the only other one that I haven't added into this stats one, but I'm going to next down here, is where those low sales came from. And I've got it written down on a piece of paper, so I'll just revert to my piece of paper. So here we go. So of all the orders, this is where they all came from, right? So Victoria is the most popular by 2, so not by a huge amount, with Queensland and New South Wales closely following behind. South Australia kind of in 4th place, Tasmania, Western Australia and overseas buyers all holding their own on 3 sales each through the month of August, which kind of is an interesting little kind of statistic. I felt kind of gave you an overview of where buyers were coming from. Not that there's anything really to learn from that, but interesting enough September is a 4-week month. What was July? July was 1, 2, 3, 4. July was only 4 as well, so there's no excuse in that. So yeah, September's 4 weeks. There's no there is a public holiday in WA towards the end of the month, and there's one in Victoria as well. So whether that impacts anything in terms of sales, we shall see. But next up is to get into part out mode and get some more stuff added to the store for the day. So I'll crack on. It is Tuesday afternoon. I have been in meetings all day, so this is the end of the day and the first chance I've got to do anything. So 5 orders, continuing a stellar start to the month. This being the biggest order of them, with 124 items in 6 different lots, mainly reddish brown, but good little order. The next one is pretty much all of the animals, apart from the shark and stuff, that was in that City Sea Exploration set that I parted out not too long ago. Couple from Brickowl. The first one being that one, which is all mechanical bent arms, 12 of them. And then the other one is a lot of dark blue and dark azure pieces. I couldn't find one of those quarter circle pieces, so I've had to email the buyer on that one. It's not in there amongst them all, so God knows where that one's fallen as we've been going along. And then the final order is a minifigures one. Plo Koon, a Tusken Raider, a Mandalorian, R2-D2, and a 501st, and a lightsaber. And it did make me double check, because the new lightsabers have got that frosted look, as opposed to the old ones, which have got that kind of clear glass that sometimes had the bubbles in it. That one doesn't have any bubbles in it, which is good. But kind of, yeah, it did make me think about my inventory and separating to make sure that they are in different places so that I don't pick up the wrong one when I'm picking orders. Did have another postal inquiry on Bricklink. Get a few of those on Bricklink, but they never seem to do any sales. They're usually from overseas, and I think people think that shipping's going to be dirt cheap from overseas, which clearly it is very rarely dirt cheap to send anything with Australia Post. We'll keep moving that around so you can't see people's address names. Got a Bricklink. There we go. Let me have a look. Let's go to YouTube, show you what's happening over there, because the video has gone super well. Super guns? That's not even a phrase. The new blog is up to 414 views, and the subscribers have jumped up to 392. And I haven't even posted it on Instagram or anything like that, which I'd forgotten to even track followers on Instagram. Not that it kind of increases a lot, but yeah, that video especially is doing really well. Now, whether that's because it's a bit shorter than the hour-plus ones or not is yet to be seen, but it's an interesting point of note moving forward that maybe that shorter form vlog is a bit more likely to get watched by people and for them to subscribe, but we shall see. So I need to get these orders packed up and get them to the post office, even though I've missed the post for today as a result of all the meetings and stuff like that. A couple of eBay orders to sort out as well. Get those done and then head back and do another part out to try and keep me on track for doing one of those a day, as we see how that affects things for the store. So I'll crack on with that, and it'll probably be back tomorrow, where I've got a few more things lined up. So a bit more of a busy day tomorrow than just looking at orders and talking about part outs. So bear with me. Wednesday morning, 1, 2, 3, 4 orders in overnight. Pretty kind of moderate orders. The first one for 4 tiles. Orange tiles going out there. This one's good, cover that up. Given that I parted out 3 of the new Star Wars mechs, the Stormtrooper ones, as their inventory had been added to Bricklink last night, and one of the minifigures has sold already, so That's pretty good. A value of $14.79, given that the mechs were only $16, kind of it's good business. Heard back from the buyer from yesterday that I was missing 2 of the dark azure plates. He's all good, refund issued, so that one can go out. And then this next one is the Galaxy Explorer part out. Again, kind of just shows when you get pieces in the store, they do sell. So a couple of the Spacemen going out, and they're going out at $15 a pop. Obviously it's an expensive set, but a lot of parts, and I did think that the Spacemen would be pretty popular. And then this one is 7 Kashyyyk Troopers, and this one's going to the States. It was a Brickowl shipping request yesterday, and I didn't hear back, so I was thinking it was going to go nowhere, because obviously, I think I mentioned it yesterday, Australia Post shipping to some countries is quite steep. I had an inquiry for a Captain Rex helmet to go to Mexico, and it was more than the set to post it. Obviously the buyer didn't want to go any further with that, so those 4 and yesterday's order to get out. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff over here which needs to go to the post office. That's all labelled and everything set up. That's stuff that's sold on eBay on Monday. There's a whole more stuff that's going to sell today. I've been doing a bit more sorting out of the drawers, kind of pulling out the drawers that are empty. So that's them over there. So that I can see where there are holes. And I think I'm going to go to IKEA today, amongst many things that I need to achieve, to get some more of these 2 litre and 5 litre tubs. Not many, just maybe 4 of each, because they are so useful. And when you get down to like big drawer 24 there, you know, that one's rammed. 29 is getting pretty full with those kind of things. And your options are either to separate them all out into many little drawers, or to condense them into one. I've got a heap of these kind of wedge plates that don't fit in this drawer as well. You know, there's a whole bin of these kind of 4x2 wedge plates. Just trying to rationalize a little bit as I go. You know, that's a whole tray of different, are they 2x5s or something like that? So there's lots of things like that that just kind of are chewing up space, and I need those bigger drawers to be available for when these get too full, or you need to divide and conquer when you've got mixed colours. For instance, drawer 1 has got those circular modified plates in it, and it's getting pretty full, and it's getting to the point now where that needs to be divided out into maybe 2 trays, where what I generally do is go black and white together, dark grey, light grey together, and then have the rest in another portion. So it kind of helps me in terms of keeping track of where I'm at with things. So yeah, there's a fair bit of that going on. Over on YouTube, kind of the weekend flurry has kind of diminished. Let's get rid of that. Let's go into the States. The weekend flurry is kind of drawn to a close. I think we might have lost a subscriber. I think it was 392 yesterday, but I may have dreamt that. Let's have a look what it is right now. 439. So I think that's probably, like, those last few videos have done really well. that helmet modification still bombed. I don't know why that, like, I thought that was a pretty good video personally, but yeah, these last couple of videos have done really well. So I'm very pleased with that. And over on the store, obviously I did a little part out last night, which has taken us up to 92 and a bit thousand parts. Obviously it's only Wednesday, and and still trying to get a part out done a day. It doesn't have to be the biggest part out in the world. I'm just trying to make sure I'm adding things every day to the store. So that's also on the target for today. I've got a little bit of a Facebook Marketplace deal to do. I know I said I wasn't going to do many of those today, but it's for a bunch of Ahsoka's T6 shuttles at a price that you just can't knock back. So there's that to do, and I need to go and find some big boxes for some of the bigger sets that are selling on eBay. So yeah, heaps to get on with as always. So better crack on, and I'll report in as I get things done. Back from my Facebook Marketplace deal, I managed to pick up 4 of these Ahsoka shuttles. The boxes are all a bit mangled, but that's okay. This one's not bad. I'm going to guess these are from Target, because a lot of the boxes I've seen in Target have this mark on the top of them. And these ones have obviously had the security barcode, you know, those security like spiders on them. But yeah, it's pretty mangled, that one especially. All of these boxes have got that crease, the way they've made these kind of finger hole boxes, and the one, all of these totally mangled. So from an investment point of view, not amazing, but from a store point of view, 4 of those sets with those minifigures, and I paid $50 a piece for those, so that is better than half price. So can't grumble at that. Picked up a few more of these IKEA 365 tubs, picked up some of the 2 litres and some of the 5 litres, just to continue that freeing up of space. The first of the drawers is meant to arrive today, according to the Australia Post app. We shall see. So 2 little bundles of eBay sales that I just need to wrap up and get sorted. So I'm going to do that now and then think about a part out. It's Wednesday afternoon, just done a part out. I did the Weasley's Wizards Wheezes from Diagon Alley set, 2 copies of that, which I think I probably got them both for about $100 total. Fairly different colorways and things like that in terms of the parts. There was lots of new colorways. There wasn't a lot of new lots, but like, I'm not really sure which counts as a lot when you're kind of uploading it. Heaps of windows and things like that. But in terms of value, it works out at 1,720 items, 307 lots with a value of $794. So given that I got them like cheap from Facebook Marketplace, one of the boxes was mashed up, the other one was in great condition, but kind of following that theory that parting out multiples is more time efficient for the return, 794 is pretty exceptional in terms of getting store content inventory, you know what I mean. So that part out takes us to give us a second, thanks very much, here we go. That takes us to 94,164 by the end of Wednesday, so we're pretty close to the 95,000, which was the target by the end of the week. There was another order in on Brickowl for some dark orange wedge plates, which are kind of expensive. $14 for a 4x4 wedge plate. So I'm just about to pick those and get that sorted out. Other than that, kind of depends. I've got a little bit of sorting out of drawers to do. Some things have just got so full that they need to be re-housed, and obviously I got those tubs earlier today to help do that. So I'm going to be messing around with the inventory a little bit. Ready for another day tomorrow. Got some other work things I need to do tomorrow, so perhaps not as much from me, but hopefully a little bit along the way. So until then. Thursday, 7th of September, it is early doors in the morning. It's not even 9 o'clock yet and he's at it. You saw that order come in last night. There's been 2 more in overnight, one from Bricklink and one from Brickowl over there. The Bricklink one was a whole bunch of printed tiles, most of these pretty recent as well. I can't quite remember which set they came in, but I think that might have been out of the oh god, I did it really recently as well. Maybe it was out of that it was either out of the Justifier or it was out of the Stormtrooper mech, can't remember. But all of these parts are really recent additions, as are these green wedge plates. The first minifigure head that I've sold, and I only have 3 listed, so something to think about. There's a whole bag of them in the storage container used that I really should dig out and start processing, and a couple of swords on that one. And this one's going express, and the lovely people at the local post office gave me this bag of tape, roll of tape to put on the parcels that are express, because the Dymo printer just prints black and white, so they can't easily spot which ones need to go in the express package bag bundle and which ones are normal. So they're giving me the tape so that I can highlight for them, make their life easier, and it kind of is a good cost saving for me. And then this one from Brickowl was, it came in kind of late last night for a postage quote, which seems to be very much the way for Brickowl purchases. That's kind of like the third or fourth request for shipping quote that I've had it on there. And you know, as you know, generally the Brickowl orders have been of a much smaller order value, but not this one. It's a big old order, a heap of black parts, lots of Technic stuff in there as well. Technic bricks, Technic axles, again in the light blue grey, lots of Technic connectors and those little joint things, which I have heaps of, so it's good to see some of those going out. A fair old dose of white, blue, red and white, white, red and blue. Don't know which way around that sounds better. Anyway, which, you know, you've got to suggest that maybe that's a little bit of a space action going on there, and some white tiles. The quantities of this were all very round numbers, you know, like 10, 20, things like that, which kind of made me think that maybe it was somebody replenishing their own store, but we'll never know. So yeah, there's today's orders. Loads of things ended on eBay last night, so there is an absolute shed load of packing and getting stuff ready for that I need to do. But first things first, priority number one is get these orders packed up and ready to go, and then move on to the eBay orders. I think I might swing past the storage container today as well to pick up the Winnie the Pooh set that I got when I was over in New Zealand, to do that as a part out rather than continuing down the Speed Champions Star Wars route, just to add a bit more variety back into the store and keep those numbers growing. So lots of postage and packaging stuff to do next, so pretty boring, won't show you that. Maybe show you the scale of it by the time we get to the end of it, but otherwise it'll be business as usual and trying to get another part out done. So that would be the 7th day in a row of doing part outs. It's just turned Thursday, yeah, Thursday afternoon. Another order come in, which is good. A few white parts and a few bits, a load more Technics stuff. Obviously a bit of a thing for Technics this week, which seems to be kind of strange, isn't it? How it kind of ebbs and flows. It's been a while since I've had white parts, and you know, that last order, big order, was all black as well. So yeah, pretty good. So I'm going to get this one packed up, and then I'm going to go and do my post office run. I've got to go and find some big boxes from Bunnings for some of the sets that have sold on eBay, and grab a couple of things from the storage unit as well. So a little bit of a drive. I need to get some paper for the printer, things like that. So gonna get out and about, get that kind of stuff done, and then come back and think about which part out I'm going to do. It is Thursday evening or late afternoon, whatever you want to call it. BSX file all sorted for these two that I picked up when I was in New Zealand. All the cups are out, all the action's ready to happen. It's all over the place. Everything's raring to go. Cups as far as you can see across all the desks. You do need a lot of desk space for this, but dum dum dum, look what arrived. Went to the post office to drop off all of the eBay stuff, which I actually forgot to show you, and these were here waiting for me, all empty. Need to label them, but that gives us another 12. I bought a what did I buy? I bought one tall stack, which I think is 8 or 9, and one short stack, which is 5 or 6, I can't remember. What would that give us? I've got one spare, so there's 12, 13. So it must have been an 8 and 5, mustn't it? No, an 8 and 6. 8 and 6. 12. No, how does that work? 8 and 6? No, 8 and 5. God, I can't do the maths. It's too late in the day. Anyway, so yeah, plenty more room in there. We've even got capacity in the 2Ls and the Have we got room in the 5Ls back there? Maybe not. I think the 5Ls are all filled, but we've got some 2 litre tubs there, and we've got another couple of 2 litre tubs available there. There is an order in as well, so that needs to get sorted before the end of tonight. But I'm about to start tearing into these bags. This Ideas box is really nice. It's kind of like a little gatefold. Why don't they do that more often? Interesting parts in this one. Lots of dart medium nugget and stuff like that. But they'd already switched over. Sorry if that's a bit crinkly. They'd already switched over to these envelope containers for the sets. But what I have realised, and this is a bit of a problem, is that it doesn't tell you the set number on these envelopes. There's no identification. That's not the number for the set, which is 21326, and none of that is the number for the set either. So I'm actually going to have to open these envelopes in terms of being able to label them for what they are for the sets, which is a bit of a shame, really, isn't it? Yeah, I thought that was a bit disappointing for people buying the set, because it means that these kind of card mailers will be unsealed, which I guess if that's the thing that you're kind of into, that would be a bit disappointing. But yep, just two of these to do. Part out values coming at something like 716 or 710 or something like that dollars, given that they were like, what were they, 20% off, and it worked out like $200 or something like that. So that's an excellent part out rate. So usually takes me a good 2-3 hours to do a set like this. It's 1265 pieces in each of them, so I better get cracking if I want to get finished before the end of the day. So here we go. Friday morning, 3 orders in overnight. Well, 4, but one of them is a listing error on my part for 20 parts that I don't actually have. So only the 3 orders. First one up, 3 of the Clone Trooper, the what are they? 187th Legion. I think they're out of that Republic fighter tank, aren't they? I think. Anyway, 3 of those little fellas off. Yep. And then this one, obviously someone displaying minifigures. I've covered up his name. I'm ahead of the game today. So cleared me out of those, but I do have a big order of those coming. So be good when they arrive, because that will help just get some of those back in the store, because they are popular. And at 13 pence a go, I think they could probably sell for a little bit more. 13 pence? God, thinking I'm back in the UK, and that was a long time ago. 13 cents. And the final order is a bunch of dark bluish grey bricks and kind of inverted slopes, and some other bits and pieces. So yeah, 3 good orders. Over on the website, the store, that part out last night took us over the 95,000. So it's taken us to 96,187 parts. So we're definitely on track to crack that 100,000 next week, which would be amazing. Over on the YouTube channel, we're creeping closer to 400 subscribers, which in 3 months I've got to be super chuffed with that. The last blog still ticking away, doing nicely. The last 2 videos doing very nicely. I haven't done any shorts at all this week. Just haven't had the time, what with everything else and all the eBay stuff, of which I've got another little few things I need to get done today on the eBay front. No orders from Brickowl overnight, but you know, that seems to be the way it goes. Sometimes you've got lots going on, and then sometimes you don't. In terms of the stats, let's go and have a look at the stats. September's pretty good so far. Brickowl 7 orders. Yeah, September's going great. Given that it's only like a third of the way through, this is certainly on track with 3.5 orders a day, and the total sales up. In terms of the week, obviously as we get into this part of the week, it's always down. Hopefully a few more sales over the weekend, but Bricklink and Brickowl kind of Brickowl making up half as many as Bricklink sales, which seems to be the case. Minifigures making a bit of a resurgence this week, which is good. But you know, it's always down at this point. And for those that love the color chart, black leading the way with reddish brown, hot on the heels, reddish brown. That's the first time that's been that far up the leaderboard. White ahead of light blue grey as well. With blue, obviously there was a lot of space parts this week that have taken the that up the chart. And in terms of the month's colour, black miles ahead. Sold so much black stuff this kind of month already. Lots and lots of that. And the usual colours, you know, it's the Star Wars colours, isn't it? Doing the business, which is great. 18 minifigures, 2 instructions. Yeah, that's pretty decent, eh? And I forgot to kind of mention, in amongst everything else, we had our first Northern Territory purchase as well. I realised we hadn't had any from the Northern Territory so far. So it's good to get. So I've got to pack these orders, get them off to the post office with some eBay stuff that I need to weigh and print out labels for and do a little bit of packing. And then think about what else I'm going to do. Tray 6 is possibly the one that needs some sorting out. It's been a bit of a dumping ground for the 1x3s and the 1x4s and the panels and stuff like that. It's got a bit of a mess, as has tray 8. That one's already been kind of thinned out once and it's filled back up really quickly. Yeah, there's a lot of bits and pieces. Got me cord tangled. Yeah, this one needs a bit of a sort out as well. These brackets, are they brackets? Get lots and lots of those, so gonna have a little bit of a sort there. Heaps of dark blue grey ones of those. So yeah, and then it just turned into a bit of a dumping ground in the middle there. So they all need sorted out. What's happening in T9? T9 is all just 1x2 bricks really. And again, these with the grills on them, they've kind of got a bit crazy, so that's something that can get sorted into the new drawers as we go. And yeah, everything's looking pretty good with the 2-litre containers. The bins, the window bin and the wheel bin, they're doing pretty good, and those plate ones are doing the business now that they're a bit thinned out. But yeah, that tray needs sorted out, and then we've got all of that new trays that we can work with, which is great, and it gives me plenty to do later today and over the weekend. But I do want to get another part out done, so I'm just going to choose something small for the next few days just to keep that ticking along over the weekend. Just small things added in, just so there's a bit more variety getting added. So I'll crack on with the orders and I'll report back if there's anything interesting. Just back from the post office and came back to a parcel sitting on the doorstep, and it's from the Pick-a-Brick website where I ordered some parts. Now, I think I read somewhere that Lego doesn't let you do this, buy stuff and then resell it. I don't know, this could be the biggest mistake I ever make. But kind of, I went out and got a whole lot of bricks, truckload of, wow, they just stick it all in one bag. Right, Jesus, thanks for sorting it, fellas. Plates, tiles, you name it, ingots. So this is one half of that order. This is like, I think this is like the standard parts, and there's another order, another half of that order that's coming as well. So that's today's part out, sorted for the website, isn't it? I might not put it all up at once actually, because I don't want to cause a fuss, but maybe drip feeding it onto the site is a better idea. But yeah, cool, eh? Kind of, you get in these massive bags. Look at that. Some massive plates. Those will go well. Those kind of plates always go well. So they're a definite for listing. And everything else, well, I'll have to work out what's in there now. I'll have to part it out because it's all in one bag. But yeah, that's a quality delivery. Happy with that. And let's get that uploaded in parts. Wednesday afternoon, another order just popped in. Luke Skywalker from the Dark Trooper Battle Pack, a lightsaber blade, a seal, very cute, and a Technic ball joint. Yeah, nice little order, that one. I've been through and sorted all of the parts that came, oh, nearly fell off my chair, that came with the order. There they all are, all parted out. Lots of ingots, some tiles, some of those kind of bricks, whatever they're called, all sorts of things. Anyway, you don't need to see the state of my mug, do you? So I paid $350 for that lot, and its part out value, if you like, is $576. So not double, but not bad for some parts that are difficult to get and things like that. So when the second half of this order comes, I think there's some more interesting parts in that one. I think these are just the standard brick parts. So I'm going to upload that, get this one off, packed up and sorted, and then we'll see where we are in terms of numbers to finish out the week. The end of Friday, just sorting out tray 6 into the new trays, 1x plates going in here, so 1x3s, 1x4s and 1x5s. By colourway, I've removed the Star Warsy colours of the 3s and 4s and put them in one of the 2-litre tubs just to keep them nice and compact. They do nearly fill a whole 2-litre just by themselves. So that's pretty much it for the week. Just going to continue tickling away at that kind of thing. Let's have a little check where we are on the stats before we wrap it up for the week. We've closed on 97,399 parts, 6,793 lots, which is pretty damn good. 14 fans over there. We seem to have lost a subscriber on oh no, he's back again on YouTube. Love to get that over the 400 over the weekend. Not been a bad week at all on that front, given that we only posted the blog video earlier in the week. But that's about it for this week. No doubt do some stuff over the weekend and then see you back here on Monday for more orders and whatever we're going to get up to next week. Going to try and do the Black Panther part out and the El Dorado Fortress next week. Big numbers, take us over that 100,000. If you've liked the video, please do subscribe, give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, leave a comment below. I'll try and answer them through the week. And if you've got any tips that you think I'm doing stuff wrong as well, equally, people have been so helpful. It'd be really good to get some input on what I could do better in terms of streamlining my processes and how I can get things purring like a machine. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.